So without, excuse me, further ado, I'll jump in. I'll be doing a lot of talking. Like I said, jump in and interrupt to ask your questions. So you will see from the handbook from our website, it's a handy dandy tool for parents and guardians, not only for grade 9, but throughout a student's high school career. And what you're going to see is that there's a lot of things that are similar to grade 8, but there's a lot of things that are unique to the high school setting. And, we've all experienced high school at one point or another. Some things are the same, and again, some things are different. But you'll see in the first little bit of this handbook that we will go through this evening, there's not a glossary, but a table of contents for everybody to take a look at as a quick reference. You'll also see, to begin the booklet, some information about specifically about high school and terms that are going to be popping up throughout your student's four-year high school career. From community service hours, which is mandatory for every student in the province of Ontario to take 40 hours by the time they graduate, to a prerequisite course, meaning a course that you have to take before you take another course, to EQAO testing information as it relates to the grade 9 mathematics EQAO assessment, which is now counting for a student's 10% of a student's mark for grade 9 math, which has just come in this year from the Ministry of Education, to the grade 10 literacy test, which is a mandatory test that every student must take and pass in order to get their high school diploma. You'll also see some information or some terms in our handbook or on this page that relate specifically to programming at Lockerbie Composite School. So we have many parents on the call this evening that have students coming into STEP, the Science, Technology, Education program. And there are many students on the call this evening that are going into the traditional semestered streaming programming that is offered throughout the province. So you will notice that there are definitions, for example, for full year courses. So if you are a STEP student, a STEP student, you will be taking full year courses for the morning block in grade 9. For a traditional or de-streamed student that has semestered courses, you're going to have 4 courses from September to January, and then another 4 courses from February to June, which I'll get into a little bit later. But again, this is your go-to definition spot as things start cropping up throughout your student's high school career. Now, the next thing I'd like to quickly go through is a student's timetable, again, which is going to be different for a STEP student and going to be different for those students in the traditional stream. So when we take a look at a sample timetable, you'll see that our school is broken down into 4 periods. Period 1, 2, 3, and 4. Each one of our periods runs 75 minutes in length. And between classes, there's about a 75-minute, or I should say, each class runs 75 minutes. And between each class, you have about a 2, 3, 4-minute transition period. Each one of our students has a lunch hour, which is close to an hour in length. And students are able to leave Lockerbie campus, go out into the community, whether it's Tim Hortons, whether it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, whether it's to the local gas station, whether it's a walk around the building. They can leave campus, but they are asked to be back at the school by 11:45. Each one of our days, and I'll show you the bell times down below, but each of our days starts at 8:25 in the morning, which is a little different from elementary school. But for those students that are taking a bus, buses usually arrive at the school by about 5 after or 10 after 8 every morning. If students are walking or are getting a ride to the school, they are more than welcome to do that, but we ask that every student be in the building by 8:10 a.m. Classes will always end at 2:25. The Lockerbie Composite School is a busing hub, so we're one of the earliest dismissals across the city because our buses actually go to different locations to drop off different students because we have students attending from across the city. Buses will usually depart the school by about 2:35. Now, whether you are a step student or a traditional semestered student, you will always have the 4 classes each day. How the classes are structured throughout the year will change, but a student will always have 4 classes each day. On the timetable, students will be able to see their course code, and the course code becomes very important in high school. We talk a lot about course codes. So instead of saying things like biology and chemistry, we will say things like, oh, the SBI 3U course or the SCH 3U course. So course codes become really important, and you'll see a little later how to deconstruct a course code, but that will be there. On the timetable, you will see the actual course subject, you will see the teacher name, and you will also see the classroom that students will be able to go to. Now, presently, students don't have a copy of their timetables. They will actually be receiving a copy of their timetables when they come to pick up their t-shirt and a couple of other things that we have planned on July 3rd and July 4th of this year. You would just come to the main office 9 to 3. You would pick up the schedule or the timetable. You will be able to take that home, look at it, but some of the information might not be there on July 3rd and July 4th. All of the information will be there when students receive a copy of their timetable on the first day of classes. Because one of the things that we have done this year is we have actually sorted, kind of like Harry Potter style, our homeroom classes into what we call Viking houses. And when you visit our website under the main links tab, you will see some information about Viking houses. We have 6 Viking houses right now. Because of our enrollment next year, we are probably going to have a few more Viking houses. But no matter whether you are a step student or a traditionally stream student, you will certainly be sorted into a homeroom house. And we have actually a sorting ceremony that begins on the first day of classes, where that's the first thing students will do is they will go to the auditorium, report to the auditorium. They will go through our sorting ceremony, get their homeroom, get their timetable, and they will have an idea of where to go when they actually leave the sorting ceremony with their homeroom teacher. So if you want to see what that sorting ceremony does look like, you can watch a video of this year's sorting ceremony as students got sorted into Alces, Bombus, Gavia, Salmo, Ursus, or Volpe's house, each with their own color and each with their own animal as well. Any questions up until this point? I saw hands go up. I saw stuff in the chat. If not, feel free to unmute at any time. Mr. Smith is there answering questions in the chat as well.
I have a quick question about
Yeah.
the busing.
Yes.
My son doesn't take a bus for grade school, but he will need to take one for Lockerbie. Do you know do I have to do something in order to set that up?
So for students who are not within walking distance of Lockerbie, the busing consortium will get that information. So our computer system usually, quote unquote, dumps that information over to the busing consortium. And the busing consortium, which we've already done, the busing consortium is in the process of developing routes and what bus and the pickup time and where the student has to go. They will traditionally send you that information prior to the start of the school year. You can reach out to them at businfo.ca, or you can give them a call at 705-523, I think it's 1234. And they will be able to guide you in how that information is going to be communicated to you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? So timetables, you'll pick them up. They won't be full. You students will not know their homeroom class. they will find that out on the first day of classes through our sorting ceremony. Take a look on our website, take a look on our YouTube page, what that looks like each year to find out which homeroom they're going to be in. It was good. Actually, it was good fun. Every student participated, which was great. And students will be receiving an invitation to the sorting ceremony also when they pick up their half-complete timetable and their T-shirt along with a couple of other things. So their official invitation to the sorting ceremony will come, and we will be sharing what that sorting ceremony is going to look like for our students at the August 26th orientation day for them. If that makes sense. So it was, like I said, it was good fun. It was good fun this year, and almost every student participated. So if we continue on in the handbook, you will see a breakdown of a step timetable. So the traditional timetable is what many of us are used to. 4 classes that run from September to January, a brand new set of 4 classes that run from February to June. What you see for a step timetable is a little different because step timetables have an integration day that is included in it. So what you're going to see on the screen for a step timetable, whether it's English programming or French immersion programming, is students will have classes every other day that run throughout the full year. For example, a student in STEP might take science and tech on a Monday, science period 1, tech period 2 on a Monday. On Tuesday, they would be taking math period 1, geography period 2. On Wednesday, they would be taking science and tech period 1 and 2, and then math and geography again on a Thursday, period 1 and 2. On Friday, for example, and this integration day doesn't necessarily happen on a Friday. It actually happens during the week, but for ease's sake, students will be going to our STEP integration room to start building some of their STEP toolbox skills and participating in the enrichment of the integration of all of those different science and tech areas of study. They will be learning skills like coding and 3D printing on those days. We had a bottle rocket engineering design day part of this year. We had a day at Cambrian College, a day at Laurentian University learning about carbon sequestration. Cambrian College was mechatronics. We learned about tensegrity. Again, 3D printing, coding. Students embarked on a passion project that they then entered in science fair. So it's a combination of all of these different skills that they've learned in their other classes that are being combined, plus new ones, on a Friday. But those 4 core STEP classes run all year long, and they vary between different days of the week. For STEP students, because it's a little different, they will have semestered classes in the afternoon. So as we know, traditional streamed classes happen for semester 1, for semester 2. In STEP, there's really 6 each semester. The core 4 in the morning for the full year, plus course 1 and course 2 in the afternoon, September to January, and course 3 and 4 in the afternoon, February to June. So course 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 will be your subjects like English, Francais or Ojibwe, your arts class, music or visual arts, and your 4th class is physical education. So that's, and I know we spend a lot of time talking about STEP, but it is different in terms of the actual structure for folks to understand. Like I said, when we talk about the bell times are the same for everybody. Everybody in the building by 8:10. That gives you plenty of time to get to your homeroom class, and then you move on to your 4 classes each day with that hour lunch. Any questions up until this point? Again, type in the chat. Mr. Smith will answer. You can unmute as well. I will say that something new this year that you can take a look at is in homeroom classes every morning. Folks usually are interested in what happens during during that homeroom time. That homeroom time now is our Viking morning news segment. So some of you may be familiar with Viking morning news. For those of you who are not familiar with Viking morning news, we do have a frequent links tab on our website, which should be up on your screen right now. And you will be able to click on each day. And I know the 10th was already uploaded. I don't see it here, but today's news might be an old, might have to refresh. But you can click on one of those days, and we actually have a studio in the main foyer where we have our news anchors and our sportscasters that go through the news each day. It's live. It is broadcast into every single classroom. That's something that we started second semester. So in that 5 minutes, you'll get a sense of what we hear each day if you take a look at our Viking morning news segments. And those are posted every day to YouTube, posted every day to our website. So you as a parent can also stay up to date with happenings around the building. So check it out. Our kiddos do an amazing job. You'll see here, as I mentioned, we talk a lot about course codes. You'll have an idea as a parent or guardian how to read a course code on that timetable. We've just released our exam schedule a week or two ago. The course codes are what are listed on the exam schedule for students as well. You will also have, for ease of reference for grade 9, what those course codes look like when you read a timetable together with the actual course code name. It's just for grade 9, but you will see the different pathways as it relates to STEP English, STEP French Immersion. You will also see the codes for our traditional English programming, so semestered, our traditional extended French programming for those students wishing to continue to take some French immersion classes, as well as our locally developed stream. Now, one of the things that you will see in this booklet, which will be helpful in February, is our traditional pathway or D-stream pathway to academic and applied curriculum. So in a very quick context, a couple of years ago, the Ministry of Education de-streamed, quote unquote, classes for grade 9. And that simply meant that just like in elementary school in grades, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, students were all together, learning all of the same curriculum. But then when they got to grade 9, students were actually separated into different pathways, whether it be locally developed, whether it be applied, or whether it be academic. For those of you who are old enough on this call, you might be familiar with academic and applied. Otherwise, you would be familiar with general and advanced were the other terms. 3-4 years ago, the Ministry of Education came out and said, nope, just like grade 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, students will all be learning the same curriculum for grade 9. And they said that that's probably going to transition to grade 10 as well. At the current time, that's not the case for grade 10, but it is still the case for grade 9. When we talk about STEP, it's a different learning model where there is those integration days. It is an enriching program for those that are very interested in science and technology studies. But that's not for everyone. Not everybody loves science and tech, especially as much as I do. But which is great, which is why the traditional stream is there as well. So when we take a look at the traditional stream in February, students will have to take or make a choice between going into the applied pathway or going into the academic pathway. Our guidance staff will be working with students to discuss what each pathway looks like. Some of that information is here as well, but students do pick courses for the next year in February. So those decisions come up very quickly. And to give you an idea what the applied and academic pathway looks like, there is some information for you to review there. For those students who are moving into STEP, STEP is a different pathway. And I'm scrolling through our booklet so I can get to what the STEP expectations are to continue on with the full year courses and the integration days. But you will see on the screen that for those students in STEP, they would have to maintain an overall 70% average in STEP classes. And we really do focus on those core four: science, tech, math, and geography. Obviously, maintain good attendance and punctuality throughout their school years, submitting all assignments, and of course, engaging regularly in daily classroom lessons and activities with those good work habits. So at the end of the day, all students will have an opportunity to reassess in February which pathway works best for them. And for those students who are in STEP, there is an ongoing review of students in terms of their standing in the program, because STEP is one of 4 magnet programs throughout the city. There is our science technology education program. There's the arts program at Sudbury Secondary. There's the integrated technology program at Lively High School. And there's also the international baccalaureate program at Llewellyn Park Secondary School. So all of these magnet programs are board-based, and we all have to adhere to the board guidelines. So if students are out of area and do not meet the magnet school requirements, not just at our school, but in all magnet programs, they would have to go back to their home school, and that is continually reviewed at every report card time. But for our specific program, that is the expectation for STEP students to meet. Otherwise, if they do live in area, they will have an opportunity to move into traditional programming, either in the academic or applied pathway in grade 10. Any questions there? I know most of this is just me throwing out info at you. If not, what you're going to see in our guide is a little bit of information about Science and Technology Education Program. Again, it is a magnet program. I know we talk a lot about it, but it is different than what we are used to from our own schooling as parents or guardians. But there is some information about the differences in the program. There is some information about STEP integration days and what that looks like for grade 9 students, as well as grade 10 students, because STEP is structured the same way in grade 10 as it is in grade 9. Now, for students moving into grade 11 or 12, I'm going to come back to STEP in a moment, but all students at Lockerbie Composite School do have the opportunity to look at and choose different elective courses. So in our guide, you will be able to go through and you will be able to identify some courses that your child, your student might want to take in their grade 11 or 12 year. And we're very fortunate at Lockerbie to be able to offer a number of different electives. Just to give you an idea, we will have about between where it will settle 150 to 160 grade 9 students joining us next year, so current grade 8 students, which will bring our school enrollment close to 600 as a 9 to 12 school. So we're very fortunate to be able to offer a full complement of a number of different electives, ranging from Canadian and world studies to business to the arts to math to the sciences to phys ed, yoga and volleyball and outdoor education. So we do offer a ton of different elective courses for our students. For our STEP students, however, they have a little less choice than in the traditional stream. So because it is a magnet program, science and technology heavy focus, students in grade 11 in STEP will be picking a STEP major. And one of those STEP majors, there can be 4 STEP majors that a student can take or choose to take. They can choose to take a health sciences major, an engineering major, a computer science major, or a sustainable development major. So that is simply, depending upon which specialization or major a student picks, there will be a set of compulsory STEP courses that they have to take. So every student across the province in grade 11 has to take English, has to take math. If you're in STEP, you'll have to take 3 additional STEP courses and then 3 from this list. If you are in the traditional stream, you would be taking English and math, and then your electives would be 6 other classes, right? To round out to the 8. But out of those 3 classes for STEP students that would be part of our programming, again, every student has to take math, but if you're in health sciences, you would be required to take biology, chemistry, and healthcare, which is a tech course at Lockerbie, a very popular course. If you're choosing the engineering route, again, every student has to take math, but you'll be required to take physics, chemistry, and a tech design. Architecture, manufacturing, AutoCAD, Fusion 360, 3D printing, that's kind of the tech design course. If you're choosing the computer science route, everyone's got to take math, but you would be required to take physics, a computer science, and then a computer engineering course in grade 11. Sustainable development has a little bit more opportunities to diversify. Everyone has to take math, but then you would have to take biology, and then you would have the choice of a tech design, and then you would have a choice of, a tech design or architectural design, and then you would have a choice of chemistry, physics, or the tech design, or you could branch into some social studies as it relates to law, world issues, psychology, or business leadership. So in STEP, you're picking a major. You have to take math and English in grade 11 and 12. You would take your 3 STEP classes to make it 5. Then you would have 3 electives from this list of their choosing, or even more from the list that you see on the screen. In grade 12, students would have to take 2 STEP classes. They have to take English, they would take 2 STEP classes, and then their remaining 5 classes or 5 electives would be on here. For the traditional stream, not in STEP, again in grade 11, you would take math and English, and then you'd have 6 electives. In grade 12, you would take English, and then you would have your 7 electives. Integration days and components for STEP would continue on to a lesser degree in those senior years. But for every student at the school, each one of these specializations or majors also links up to what we call a specialist high skills major. And this is open for anybody at Lockerbie. Doesn't matter what pathway you're in. If any student in our building has a passion in health, computer science, mining, or sustainable development, they can enter this ministry-provided program that allows them to take certifications throughout their grade 11 and 12 year in a field of interest, allows them to do co-op placements, allows them to have some experiential learning opportunities over and above the traditional learning environment. So each one of our majors links up to a specialist high skills major, but anybody can choose to be a part of it. At the end of the day, any student that has participated in one of these specialist high skills majors actually earns a special sticker, a red seal, on their Ontario Secondary School diploma that is recognized by every post-secondary institution across the province, because it is a Ministry of Education driven initiative. And again, we have many students participate in these programs. And I have to say that not only do we have these 4, but I was informed yesterday that the Ministry of Education has actually approved a 5th specialist high skills major at Lockerbie Composite School, and that will be in the culinary arts. So we will be having a food and nutrition schism, if you will, to support students with a passion in the culinary arts. And I know we've reached out to George Brown yesterday, because George Brown College is looking to partner with us and work with us as well as part of the food schism, which will be starting for grade 11 students in September. We just found out, so we're very excited. So there's a fifth one that is out there as well. But that's grade 11, so we have a little bit of time. Any questions about specialist high skills majors, STEP, options, choices? If not, again, unmute your mic, type in the chat. Hoping we're probably going to go another 15 or so minutes just to give you an idea. But a couple of things that are a little different from elementary school to high school. And one of those things is exams. So when we look at exams, those are kind of standard in most high schools. It will be a little different for students who haven't taken exams yet. So exams, for those of you who just know, is a big test. It actually counts for 30% of a student's final mark in each course. For students who are in STEP, because courses run all year long, they do have their science and mathematics exams in June. They will also have, depending on their elective courses in the afternoon, they might have English and French. So right now, for all of our students, whether they're STEP or whether they're traditional streamed, your 4 exams in your grade 9 year: science, math, English, French. So your other subjects aren't going to have those exams. They're going to have big projects. We call those culminating activities, and that information is on the second page. So your culminating activities or big projects would be found in geography. Those big projects would be found in a tech class. Those big projects, and it might be a playing test in music, for example. But not all classes have those exams. So it's really kind of split in grade 9. For a STEP student, depending on what classes you have in semester 1 and what classes you have in semester 2, you might have up to 3 exams, maybe even 4, depending on what the timetable is in the second semester. You might have 1, maybe 2, depending on what your timetable is in January, if you are a STEP student. If you are a traditional student, same thing kind of applies. We try our very best to even it out. But at the end of the day, we're here to try and support our students along the way, because we know that it's the first time that they might be writing these big tests. And these big exams aren't worth as much. So there's other things that students kind of do along the way, whether it's a practical lab that they're doing, or they might be doing a presentation in French class, still having to write an exam, but the presentation's worth 10% and the exam is worth 20, right? Because we're trying to build student skill as well, but do know that they do exist. There's some information about them. Not every class has them. For a grade 9 student, you're looking at about 4. We try and spread them out as best we can, but for example, some students had 1 this year in January and 3 that are coming up as well. But we try and space out little things throughout the year to try and support student success. Any questions about that? All righty. So if there's no questions, a couple of other things that you should be familiar with, and that's our school policies and procedures. So our school policies and procedures, they go home at the beginning of every school year. So in July, we actually get everything ready for September. And when we talk about our policies and procedures, we're talking about our student handbook. We're talking about our academic honesty and integrity policy. So we're talking about cheating and plagiarism and use of AI in the classrooms. We have an acceptable use for computers and network policy, and I'll speak to that momentarily as it relates to Chromebooks and computers in the classroom. Our attendance policy, our assessment and evaluation policy as it relates to missing tests or missing assignments. We also have the personal mobile device protocol from Rainbow District School Board, as well as our dress code protocols as well. So those come out. You'll see what they looked like this year. They are posted on our website under the frequent links tab on the side of our main page. You'll see policies and procedures. And again, some nighttime reading for you to go through and check out. But all of that information will be coming your way at the beginning of the school year. Now, in relation to the acceptable use policy and the computer policy, as part of STEP, students are required to have some form of learning device available to them to complete some of the enrichment tasks during the school year, not just grade 9, but grade 10. And again, that continues on into grade 11 or 12. What you will notice on the main page, and I'll navigate there right now, under Frequent Links tab, under Science and Technology Education Program, if you scroll down to the bottom, you will end up seeing laptop learning devices or information about laptop learning devices. Specifically, the specifications that our program looks to have in order to support some of the programs that we use regularly or on a regular basis. And we've listed some of those programs there, whether it's block coding with microbits, or it's AutoCAD design, or Fusion, or Tinkercad. All of these different programs are better supported through a laptop as opposed to a Chromebook. The user experience is a lot better in terms of supporting the programs. There are versions for Chromebook that's online. What we have found over the last year or two is that it becomes very challenging where the online version crashes, and because the Chromebook is unable to support the online version very well, because it's a big thing, it certainly impacts what again, the student experience, and leads to a lot of frustrations for the students. So all of these programs are licensed. Students will all get free versions of these programs to support their learning. We have those agreements through those companies as well, so there's no issues there. But having said that, we know that it's an added expense to families. And if there is any situation where that may be a barrier, we ask that folks reach out to the school, and we can certainly have those conversations to support our students. Having said that, the device specifications at a base model computer, whether it's a Mac or a PC, doesn't matter, can retail around $500 when those computers are on sale. So we know that's a big expense, but those on sale base model can meet the specifications that we need. Now, because we know that it's a challenge and it's an added expense, we had a partnership with Best Buy, but our partnership has actually now transferred over to Staples, specifically the Staples on the Kingsway by Home Depot, Lowe's, PetSmart, up in that area. So Staples is offering specifically to Lockerbie students, doesn't STEP student or traditional student, doesn't matter, any grade 9 student entering Lockerbie Composite School next year can receive a 10% discount in addition to a reduced rate on the Allstate insurance. So the Allstate insurance, it's around $100 that is being offered to us for Staples. It is a 2 to 3 year warranty and basically covers everything. Cracked screen, you name it. Staples then becomes our provider with Allstate, and they have that information in the warranty about how to connect with Allstate to do all of that paperwork. Because ultimately, Rainbow District School Board computer technicians do not service the laptops. So with the Allstate and with Staples, they've been generous enough to offer that service through them, and offer that 10% discount on warranty plus any model that is out there. So if you want to go higher with the specifications, by all means, that's I'll leave that to you. But on any model, they're willing to offer the 10% discount to us, which we're very fortunate to have. In terms of getting that 10% discount, I will say that as I share the next tab, that there is a coupon, whether it's traditional stream student or step student, doesn't matter. When you come pick up your t-shirt and anything like that, ask us if you're interested in 10% coupon. We'll probably ask, are you interested? If you are, we will write the student's name in there. We'll sign off on it. Your student's name then gets added to a spreadsheet that is shared with Staples. And then you would bring in the coupon to Staples. They would double check the spreadsheet that you're on it so that they will honor that 10% discount. So those coupons, you can visit the main office come July 3rd, July 4th. That's when they'll be set up first. And you can bring in that coupon to Staples. So we're very fortunate to be able to offer that. But again, whether it's your laptop or whether it's school board internet, the acceptable use policy does apply because it's being broadcast throughout the Lockerbie internet, right, in our networks. For students who might have a Chromebook break, might have a Chromebook that they can't access for the day, they've lost power, whatever, laptop, whatever, we have Chromebooks to loan out at the library. So we are firm believers in, being able to continue the laptop learning and the device learning. And if students need to sign out a Chromebook to do their work, they can visit the library in order to do that and sign it out. And it's just like a library book. So it gets returned at the end of the day. It can be loaned out for a week. It can be loaned out a little while longer. You would visit the library, you would see Miss Gordon, and all of that would be taken care of. So we do have enough to hand out, given all of the circumstances around technology to support the learning of students kind of moving forward. So no one is without as they're trying to figure out their assignments and doing all that stuff. So do know that that is available for all of our students in our building, and we're very proud to be able to offer that too. Any questions about computers, what that looks like, Chromebooks, discount? If not, we're coming close to the end, but we do encourage everybody to stay in touch. You'll see that in our handbook, different ways to stay in touch with the school. Folks' email address is listed. Our social media, please, like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Do know that you can reach out to teachers and staff at any time. You will see all of the emails for all of our teachers that are listed on our website, which is always consistently updated. So do not hesitate to give us a call or send us an email. One of the things that we do like to do is put out a weekly, I was going to say monthly, it's a weekly newsletter that gets sent directly to your inbox as a parent or guardian each Friday around between 5 and 6 o'clock. And in there, that contains all of the information that you need to know about what's been happening at Lockerbie and what's coming up. We always archive each issue every single Friday, so you can log in to take a look. We always post it on all of our social media. But like I said, it contains a ton of information every single week. Pictures of things going on around the building, links, pictures of students, surveys coming out from the school board. This was last week's school council news. You'll see the exam schedule is in there. EQAO math. We've got Magical Pet Paws Therapy coming, some dogs coming on Friday. Vikings Morning News. We always have our sports section ready to go with a ton of information, guidance, you name it. And then what's coming up each week. So we're very proud again of that newsletter, but that is our main way to communicate with you each and every Friday. Again, whatever email you have on file is the email we send out every single Friday to you. And we update our social media, Facebook, every single day. Instagram has a post every day. Twitter has a post every day from our main news site. And then you can always check out Viking Morning News and our YouTube page for other pictures. Student services or guidance, if you need to reach out to guidance at any time or your student needs to reach out to guidance at any time, there's different ways in which to book appointments, talk about classes, talk about career choices, talk to any one of our counselors that is there. And they will always do a good job of going through community service and volunteer needs because, again, that is a graduation requirement by grade 12, 40 hours. We are also fortunate to have a social worker at the school. Our social worker is actually retiring in, I think he told me 13 days. Today, the countdown is on. We do have a new social worker joining us. She will be there full-time next year. And in years to come, their offices is down in the main office area. So we have our social work services on staff for students every single day. We have our attendance counselor on staff. We have our Indigenous support worker in the building 3 times a week, which is great as well. Plus our 2 guidance counselors, our co-op teacher, our special education resource teacher is all down in the same area, which also includes myself and Mr. Smith. So we have a really good team there. But we do have mental health resources listed here as well, which is always a great reference for all of our students. And now I know that lots of students are very interested in the next couple of pages. Sports, clubs, and committees. Get involved, get involved, get involved. We always encourage all of our students to do that. And we know that they can be sheepish or shy. If folks visit our open house, we have some of your names down if you've signed up to join a club or a sport. But we also have listed all of our sports and all of our clubs that we run with the name of the staff member that runs it. So in the RS Cloud account, you can type in the teacher name to say, hey, I'm interested, and it'll pop up their email address. And if students are shy, they can send the email. If not, they can go see the teacher in person, and we've listed all of their room numbers so that they can go see them. And Vikings Morning News will always have that information each morning as the sport or as the club pops up. So this is the go-to to get involved. You know, no student can say, oh, I didn't know who was running it. It's there. We talk about it. Make it happen. It's amazing. But all of that stuff is listed here for our students to get involved. In October, of course, we have our cancer drive. We're celebrating 30 years. Gymnastics, to answer that, I saw that pop up. Yes, gymnastics we do have. That might just have been an omission. I apologize. Yes, gymnastics. We went to NASA this year, actually, for gymnastics. Miss McLennan, room 208 is the teacher representative. Sorry. Cancer drive. Cancer drive is a big part of our school. All of our students get involved. We go out in the community. We canvass every October. For the city of Sudbury, we've made close to $1.2 million in the last 30 years. It's going to be a big year coming up. We encourage all students to get involved. So there's a little bit of information there as well for you. And all of you, I see a whopping like 65 folks that are on the call. Come out to school council. It's a good time. We're nice people. It's good. It's a good time. We run a number of fundraising events for the school community. This year we hosted a porchetta bingo and a wingo bingo just for parents and guardians. It was an over 19 event. We do some planning on the committee. The group, our school council, raised about $7,500 for Viking students this year to support the purchase of different technologies, to support the reduction of costs for athletics programs, and also to reduce the convocation fee, graduation fee this year for our students. So they have done an amazing job and would love for each and every one of you to be a part of the team. Look for a form that goes home at the beginning of the year that says join school council. Many of you are familiar with School Cash Online. That is our main form for field trips. And if there's a cost to any associated event that is happening in the building, if you haven't already done so, you can sign up for School Cash Online. We do have about a 98% participation rate as a school community. So this is our main way of handling any funds that comes into the school. So if you haven't already done so, there's some instructions on how to sign up. Couple of last things. Chartwells runs our cafeteria. They are separate from the school. They rent space for us. They have the servery. They do have, they're open every single day, breakfast and lunch. They have a number of great items for students to purchase. They have Interact. They do take cash. They also have a dining card, but students can go in right into the servery. It's between the gym and the cafeteria, and that's where there's purchases. The cafeteria does very well to support two staff members, not staff members, but two workers in there from Chartwells. So they do a really good job with our kids. But we do have Chartwells and a cafeteria in there as well. And that is kind of the booklet. Do I have any questions before I follow up with a couple of last items that weren't in here? All right, so a couple of last items. So pickup for the kind of the timetable, the t-shirt. I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. T-shirt, the invitation to the Viking house ceremony, which will be live streamed on YouTube, by the way, will all be available July 3rd and July 4th of this year. So you're welcome to come into the office, pick that up, and we will have that all set up and ready to go. The other piece that you should know is that on August 26th, that's our tentative date, starting at 10:30, for all of our students to come to Lockerbie Composite School. We will host them, grade 8 students, in the auditorium, again, 150, 160 of them, where we will be talking about getting involved and, getting to meet some of our staff, hearing information about athletics, hearing information about music council, hearing information about what the Viking house sorting ceremony is going to look like on the first day of school to make them comfortable, an opportunity to tour the building, an opportunity to meet some of their teachers, maybe not the homeroom teacher, because they don't know what that's going to be until they get sorted into their house, but they will be able to meet staff, take a tour, meet some of our students, and realize how to get involved. And there'll be a little bit of this information that is shared with them on August 26th. The majority or bulk of this information is actually going to come the second week of school, where Mr. Smith and I will be going through what we call grade level meetings. We'll be talking to all grade 9s about what policies and procedures are like and what that looks like. And we go more in depth. August 26th is more raw. And it is traditionally strictly students that are attending this. And this is kind of our parent event. And then the students get to have their kind of event. When they're done their touring, we will be feeding them, whether that's a barbecue, whether that's a pizza lunch. They'll be able to do that. And it usually lasts, depends how long I talk, usually lasts an hour, maybe an hour and a half that morning. And then they'll get the information to report to the auditorium on that first day. Now, I know as well that many folks at this time of year are looking to maybe purchase what we call Vikeware. So on our Lockerbie website, I'll just take you to the main Lockerbie website. On the Lockerbie website, you will see the Vikings online store under frequent links. If you click on that link, you will see some Viking merch that is available to purchase through Greater Sudbury Sports. Usually takes 5 to 10 business days for the order to be complete, which then can be picked up at their store, either of their store locations, or can be mailed to you through them. So there's jackets, track pants, hats, t-shirts, all from embroidered to press at different costs. But to give you an idea, every student is going to receive a t-shirt that looks just like this, that I've circled on the, oh, it went away. That's circled on the screen. It's the green one. It's got the Viking chest logo as well. So every student is receiving that. That's what they're picking up. You gave us your shirt sizes when you registered, so that is there. That shirt that we give away is actually what many of our students use for phys ed classes. Just make sure that they get washed frequently and brought home. But that's what we traditionally, or what students traditionally use as well. And then, like Mr. Smith mentioned, the indoor running shoes. But if folks are interested in purchasing, 5 to 10 days, and there's a number of different options available as we grow our online stores, because this store is going to now be up permanently throughout the entirety of the school year. So you don't have to worry about it being taken down. It'll come up every 5 to, they'll make the order as is and send it out within 5 to 10 days. But otherwise, that's kind of what this is going to look like for the school year. I hope this provides you with a little bit more information. We're very excited to welcome the class of 2029 to Lockerbie Composite School. And, I always say that, I was a student there, student teacher, a teacher, the vice principal, and the principal of the school. And when I say I love the school, I really, really, truly mean that. We have a really great school community. It is really, really phenomenal. Our kiddos are great. Our parents and guardians are great. Sure, there's going to be bumps along the way here and there, but at the end of the day, it's a really, really great place to be, and we're very fortunate that you're there. I will see many of you at our feeder school graduations. I'll be there to welcome our students coming to Lockerbie, and I know that they're all set up from Alexander to Princess Anne to McLeod to Coppercliff. So I'll see many of you in person. Please come up and say hello. I've visited your students before, but looking forward to meeting you. But that kind of wraps up all of what I had to say. Are there any last questions? Don't forget to sign up for our social media. Are there any last questions that I can answer for you folks? If not, I went a little longer than I had hoped, but appreciate you coming out. And at any time, you can give us a call at the school. We're happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thanks, folks, and hoping the end of the school year goes well for you and your kiddos. Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you very much.